say it. We're in a theater. Please silence all cell phones and other devices. Also, no photographs or video recording is allowed. Please be informed that water-based smoke is used during the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your evening.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun. Where the place upon the heath, there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, great Malkin.
Paddock call anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and the filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report as seen it by his flights, the revolts of the new state.
This is Sergeant. Like a good hardy soldier fought well against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge thy brows. How does lead?
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, and brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. No, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had with valor armed, compelled these skipping currents to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion, if I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another cavalry, I cannot tell. But I am faint, my gaseous cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him, surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Dane of Ross.
What a haste looks to his eyes, so should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lacked in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men till he dispersed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title agree to Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, no Macbeth hath won.
Well, Dean, sister. Telling swine! A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched. Give me, quoth I, a runt bewitch, the rump-fed Runyon cried. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of thy tiger, but innocent, off to the sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Oh, art kind.
And I another.
I have all the rest, and in the very ports they blow, all the porters that they know is the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall of a man forbid. Weary nights 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Whence did he come?
A drum. Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land. Thus you go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Yes, the time slowed down.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
Alpha is called Euphorus. What are these so withered and wild in attire? They seem to not be an inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you, or are you wanted that man may question? And you seem to understand me by at least just one choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. And you should be women, yet your beards forbid me from interpreting that you are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? It's the truth. Are ye fantastical? Or that which indeed you outwardly show? My noble partner, greet with present grace and great predictions of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems wrapped withal, yet to me you speak not. If you can look through the shades of time and tell me which grains will grow and which will not, speak then to me, for I neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
Hail! Hail!
Less than Macbeth, than greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier. Thou shalt get kings, though thou shalt be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Simon's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king lays not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, and why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
Oh, the earth hath bubbles as the water doesn't. They are of it. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they have stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
Aye, and Thane of Cawdor too, wasn't it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who is there?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silence with that, and viewing over the self-same day, he finds thee in stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel within help and vantage, or that with both, he labored in his country's wreck. I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest behind. I thank you for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet handle you and to the crown. Besides the thin door. But 'tis strange and oftentimes to win us to our harms. The instruments of darkness tell us truths, warn us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence. Heavens, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am fain of coddle. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock against my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise. Nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Chance will have me king. Why? Chance may crown me without my stroke.
New honors come upon you like our strange garments. They cleave not for the mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. At more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Execution done on Cawdor. Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back. But I have spoken with Donald who died. He did report that very frankly. He confessed his treasons, implored your Highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life came in like believing it. He died as one that had the sudden's death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as to a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction of the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that the swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, the portion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more as I do, than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full growing. Noble Banquo, that is no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
Ah, there if I grow, the artist is all your own.
My plenteous joys wanting in fullness seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, thanes, kinsmen, and you whose places are the nearest know, we will establish our estate on our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, and hence earnest and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So, humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. Now that is a step on which I must fall down, or else overleap. For in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. I wink at the hand. Yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned a desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that you may not lose the due of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Hie thee thither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tiding?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who were it so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who nearly dead for breath, with scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending, he brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here. Fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shake my felt purpose, nor come between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Brave Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent that's under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great dispatch into my business, which shall for all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
Ah, this guest of summer, this ample haunting monolith, does approve, for he hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle here, and where they most breed and haunt, I've observed the air is delicate.
CC, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which we still think is love. Here and I teach you how you shall bid God rule us for your pains and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, we're poor and single business, to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherein your majesty loads our house. For the dignities of old, and those of late heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We course him at the heels and had a purpose to be as prepared. But he rides well, and his great love as sharp as his spur hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in count, to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If we're done when 'tis done, when 'twere well and we're done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his Circe's success. But this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in such cases, we still have judgment here. And we that teach blood instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. Justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against the murderer bar the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. Pity, the naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only bolting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not, he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. Ye have honored me of late, and I have earned golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor, as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, to live a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat to the end.
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place than did adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and known the tenderness 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, pluck my nipple from its boneless gums, and dash the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
We should fail.
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather his day's hard journey shall soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and the sail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon th' unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only. For thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and with their very own daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, when we shall make our grief and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled. And bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide, the false heart doth know.
do not know what time it is, but the moon has risen, saying it might be midnight. Hold. Take my sword. Oh, there's husbandry in heaven. Oh, the stars are all out. Hold. Take thee that too. Oh, and heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet, oh, I would not sleep. Oh, merciful powers, restrain in me these cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Hold, give me my sword. Who is there?
A friend?
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king is abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure. Send forth great and largest for your officers. Oh, with this diamond, he actually greets your wife withal in the name of Count Eustace, and he shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. Oh, and I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters, and to you they have showed some truth.
I think not of that. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear, I shall be counseled.
To propose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go with thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, as sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses. Or else with all the rest I see thee still. And on thy blade and dungeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now over the one-half world nature seems dead. And wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Now witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch. Thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds to cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan. For it is a knell that summons me to heaven or to hell.
That which hath quenched them hath made me bold. That which hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Hark! Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked and 'tis not done. The tempted, not the deed, confounds us. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl's shriek and the cricket's cry. Did you not call?
Why?
Now.
Was I dissented?
I.
Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
Well, this is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, that they did see me with his hangman's hands. Listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had much need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleep of care. Death of each day's life, sore labor's back, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glameth hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
But everything! You do unbend your noble strength to think so brainsically of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why do you carry the daggers? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy tombs with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are as but pictures, 'tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me that every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Hark, I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chambers. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Go, get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, should have all turning the key. Knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Faith. Here's an farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in, time server. Here you bring napkins and now about you. Here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Hey, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale that committed treason enough for God's sake. Could not equivocate to heaven. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come, tailor, for here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, knock. What are you? But this place is too cold for help. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we're carousing till the second and drink, sir, is a provoker of... Three things!
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Mary's, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. The lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes a desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on, but takes him off. It persuades him, but disheartens him. It makes him stand to, but not stand to. In conclusion, it equivocates him in a sleep, giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
Oh, that it did, sir! In the very throat of me. Though I requited him for his lie and being too strong for him. He took up my legs sometime, but I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Oh, are knocking at the wicket, and here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, though. Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command on me to call on him so timely. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll take you to him.
I know 'tis a joyous trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll be so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today.
He does. It appoints so.
Night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys have been blown down, and, as they say, lamenting is heard in the air. Strange screams of death, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
It was a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee!
What's the matter?
Confusion hath made his masterpiece. Its most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the anointed temple of the Lord and stolen thence the life of the building.
What is it you say, the life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. Look and speak for yourselves. Alarm! Alarm! Ring the bell! Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo! Rise up, shake off this downy sleep, and look on death itself, death's counterfeit! Rise from your graves like sprites to condense this horror! Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Malcolm! Donalbain!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak!
Oh, gentle lady, is for you not to hear what I can repeat. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! Our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas. What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
If I had died but an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What's the mess?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
What?
By whom?
Those of his chamber, it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were badged with blood, so were their weapons, which unwiped we found laid upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life is to be trusted with them.
Oh, I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make love known?
Help me, Hansel!
Look to the lady!
Why do we hold our tongues toward some may claim this argument for hours?
What shall be spoken here? Where our fate, hidden in auger may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our cheers are not yet brewed.
From a strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid, that's for an exposure, let us meet to question in this most bloody piece of work and know it further. Fears and scruples shake us, but in the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all! Let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What do you do? Snap it so with them. Show an unfelt sorrow to the false man is easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separate forces shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The nearer blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot not yet lighted. Safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse. Let's not be dainty of leave take, but swift away. There's war to that debt. It steals itself when there's no mercy left. Safe travels, brother.
10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ha, good father, thou seest the heavens, as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is it night's predominance, or day's shame, that darkness does the face of the earth entomb, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like this deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis say, they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath killed.
Alas, the day! What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, had stolen and fled, which puts them on suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still! The riftless ambition that will raven up and own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty shall fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Cumberkill, the sacred storehouse of the guardians and the predecessors of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things done well here, may our old rope sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that make good of bad, and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the three women promised yet. I fear thou hast played most foully for it. And yet, it was said that it should not stand in thy posterity, but that I should be the root and father of many kings. And if any truth come from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, the speeches shine, then why? Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up an oath? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and we request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Read you this afternoon.
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else required your good advice, which hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far as will fill up the time twixt this and supper, and go not my horse, the better I must become a borrower of the night for an hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
Oh, my good lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed into England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers' ears with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to your horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time does well upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Till then, God be with you. Madam, a word with you. Attend to those men our leisure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. This much he dares, and in that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they placed the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeded. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Go stand by the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was Banquo in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made clear to you in our last conference, and all things else which might, to half a soul and to a notion crazed, say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, which hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, chows, water-rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath on them bestowed, whereby they do receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike. And so of men. Now if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, and grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do despite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters and tugs of fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid in it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against the nearest of my life. And while I could, with bare-faced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will about it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I, to your assistance, do make love, to mask the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our
Your
lives...
spirits shine through you. Within an hour at most, I'll advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Leonce, his son, who keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon thee straight. Abide within. It is finished! Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven. We'll find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
I am, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I love.
Naught had. All spent where our desires got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Ah, now, my lord, why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. To let the frame of things disjoint. Both the world suffer. Ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams which shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the wretched mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing shall touch him further.
Gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue, unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowst that Banquo and his fiancé lives.
But in the nature's cup, he's not a turd.
There's hope yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jumping. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, and ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, at rum night's yawning peal there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Think not on it, till thou applaud the evil. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Night thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my word, but hold thee still. That things begun make strong themselves by ill, so prithee, go with me.
The wet day now spurs the lady traveler pace to gain the time in, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark at your horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
Bends his heed. The rest are within the note of expectation already in the court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, but heat is usually, so all men do. From hence to Palace State, make it their walk. A light, a light.
'Tis he. Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Fly, good plans, fly! 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 Thou mayst revenge upon me.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down, the sun has fled. We've lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees, sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Sing it, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Now,
Pour me straight.
Cookie.
for my heart speaks, they are welcome.
Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth, anon will drink the measure a table round. There's blood upon thy face.
His banquos then.
It's better he without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. It's good that is a life for 3 ounces. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal, sir. Fleance escape.
That's not fit against. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. The banquo safe.
I, my good lord, safe and ditch he bides, with 20 trench gashes in his head, the least of death's nature.
Thank you for that. There the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, no teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched. To feed were best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here had we our country's honor roofed with a graced person of our banquo present. whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence sir lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. The fit is momentary. Upon thought he will again be well. I pray you feed and regard him not, or you will man.
I am the bold one too, that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, which would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire. Shame yourself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look. Why, what care I, if thou canst not speak too? If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What, quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw it.
Fie, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. In the olden time, ere human statutes purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since 2 murders have been performed too terrible for the ear, the time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crown, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your noble friends do lack you.
Forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come. Love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Don't pull. I drink to the general joy of the whole table and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we met. But you were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our
duties and the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good friends, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. It spoils the pleasure of the time.
Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence. So being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You've displaced the mirth. Broke the good time, and with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. No, stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night and better health attend his majesty.
Kind good night to all.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. How goes the night?
Almost at odds with the morning, which is which?
How sayest thou that Macbeth denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way. But I will send. There is not a one but in his house I keep a servant fee. I will tomorrow and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far, that should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as going over. Strange things I have and had that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Will to sleep. Strange and self-abuse is the initiate that wants hard use. We are but young indeed.
Why, how now, Kate? You look angrily. Have I not reason? Beldams as you are, saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade in traffic with Macbeth and riddles of affair and death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harmonies, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art? And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at the gates of hell, meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for there this night I'll spend until a dismal and fatal end. Brave business must be wrought ere noon upon the corner of the moon. There hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic sleights shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I am called, my little spirit sea, sits in a foggy cloud, and stays for me. Come, let's make haste. She'll be back soon again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Mary was dead. And the valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say to please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must know, too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and Donalbain to kill their gracious father, damned fact? How it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say, he has borne all things well, but I think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as and please heaven he shall not, they should find 'twere to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words and 'cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear, Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell me where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan lives in the English court, and is received the most pious Edward with such grace, that the malevolence of this fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we shall again bring to our tables meat, sleep to our night, free from banquets, bloody knives. And that this report has so exasperated the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, with an absolute sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turned me his back and hummed as if to say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with his answer.
And that might well advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message and come, that a swift blessing may come upon our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers to him.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge did whine. Parting cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone, days and nights hast 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. I've newt to a frog, wool of bat, and a tongue of dog. Adder's fork, blindworm sting. like hell broth, boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon and tooth of wolf, a witch's mummy, the maw and gulf of the ravine salt sea shark. Roots of hemlock diggeth dark, the liver of a blaspheming Jew, with gall of goat and slips of yew, slivered in the moon's eclipse, with nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. The finger of a birth-strangled babe, dips the liver by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, and add thereto a tiger chandron, or the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. And now about the cauldron sing like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks. For the nuts!
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it. Answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though castles topple on their warders' heads, answer me to what I ask of you.
Speak.
Demand. We'll answer.
See if it had rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call them. Let me see them.
For in South blood that hath eaten, her pharaoh grease that sweeten, from murderers give it throw into the flame. Come high or low, thyself in office deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say it thou not.
Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. He's another more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
If I had 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care. Who chafes, who frets, or where conspires are. Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great Birnam Wood and high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, will Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall upon you. Let me know.
Show, 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 show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down. Thy crown to sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thou other gold-found brow is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags! Why do you show me this? A fourth? What? With a line stretched out to the crack of doom, a sixth I'll see no more! And yet the seventh appears. That bears a glass that shows me many more. In some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
I said, this is true. But why sings Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer me up his sprites, and show the best of all delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound while you perform your antic round, so that the king may kindly say our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Let this date stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there!
What's your grace's will?
Saw you not the weird women?
No, my lord.
Went they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I hear the galloping of a horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled? To England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is overtook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment on, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And now to crown my thoughts with acts, let it be thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, lay to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll begin before the purpose cool. But hush, no more starts. Where are these gentlemen? Take me where they are.
To make him fly the land, you must have patience, madam. He had none. His flight was madness, and our actions do not our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight the young ones in the nest against the owl. All is the fear and nothing is the love. As little as the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But as for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and more. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upwards to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father she is, and yet she's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Your father is dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, that's never fear the net nor the line, the pitfall, nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. And how wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how wilt thou do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy 'em to sell again.
Oh,
resist with all thy wit, and yet a faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged.
And must be hanged all that swear and lie.
Every one.
And who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the swearers and liars are fools. Ere there are swearers and liars now to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you would weep for him. If not, it should be a good sign I should have a new father soon enough.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, but in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger is approaching nearly. If you take a holy man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To scare you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse is to fell your cruelty, just to know your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. And yet, I remember now that I'm in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good is sometimes counted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up this womanly defense, to say that I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified that such a spouse may find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain.
What? You egg? Young cry of treachery?
He has killed me, mother. Run, I pray you.
Murder! Murder! Murder!
Seek out some distillate shade, and there our said bosom's empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our own downfall and birth. Each new morn, new widow's hell, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, and it resounds as if it felt with scowling, yells out like syllable of dower.
But I believe, oh well, but no, believe. And what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. For you spoke maybe so perchance. His soul tyrant who blisters our tongues, was one thought honest. You loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve him through me and wisdom, to offer up weak horns that lend to Pisa may be God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which your armor thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, brightness fell through. And all things foul wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still excel.
My hope ends here.
Chance that is where I did find my doubts. Why in that wrong except your wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love, the leave-taking? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, but you shall think of me.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shore, for goodness does not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is appeared. Fare thee well, Lord. I will not be the villain that thou thinkest, for the whole space in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I do not speak in absolute fear of you. Not that your country seeks me with the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. But I think withal there be hands up to my right. And here, from greatest England, I have offered of goodly thousands. For when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, wear it on my sword, yet my country should have more suffer, more sundry ways, and more vices, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself I mean, in whom I know all particular vices so grafted that, when they shall be opened to black Macbeth, who seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared to my confineless arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell comes a devil more damned and evil to Tom Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious smack of every sin, but I have none. The king becoming graces, as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, lowliness, mercy, patience, courage, fortitude, I have no relish of them, but to bound in several crime acting in many ways. Nay, By thy power shall pull this noble conqueror into hell. Uproot the universe of peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I've spoken.
Fit to govern. No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when wilt thou return to thy wholesome days again, since that be the truest issue of thy throne? By his own interdiction stands accursed and blaspheme his own breed? Thy royal father was a most sainted king, and the queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than upon her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well, for these evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth has sought to win me into his power. Modest wisdom plucks me from overcredulous haste, but God above, deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detractions. Here abjure the taints and blames laid upon myself. The changes of my nature I am yet unknown to women. Never was foresawn, scarcely have coveted was mine own, but no time broke my faith. Would not be straining the devil to his fellow, and delayed no less from truth than life. This is my first false speaking of this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed? Before thy her approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men, hard 8 points setting forth. Now, like the chance of goodness, be like a warranted quarrel. Are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Aye, more anon. Comes the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. There's a crew of wretched souls that stays here, that my lady convinces the greatest save art. But at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
I thank you, doctor.
What is the disease of which he speaks?
'Tis called the evil, and most miraculous work of this good king. Since my hair may name, I've seen him do. How he solicitates heaven himself best knows, but strangely visit people all swollen, ulcerous, pitiful to the eye. In the mere despair of surgery, he cures. Hanging about a golden staff on their necks, put on with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken, to his exceeding rarity he leaves that healing benediction. In sundry ways, hang about the throne that speak him full of grace.
See who comes here.
My countryman, yet I know him not.
Ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
Ah, I know him now. Good God, bedtime's removed the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Spend Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expired before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker, each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a niggard of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was, to my belief, witnessed the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight, to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward to 10,000 men, an older and none better soldier like Christian Lungers out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not lash them.
What concern, then? Of the general grief or the fee grief of some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part of it pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner, were on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man? Nay, pour your hands upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The silent grief whispers o' thought and bids the heart break.
My children killed.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children! And all my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
And I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot help but remember things that were so precious to me. Did heaven look on and not take their part? O sinful Macduff, thou hast struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. May heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Flood not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I can play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. But O gentle heaven, cut short all intermission. Bring me this fiend of Scotland, and in my sword's length place him. And if he escapes, may heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, we go to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for the shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheers you may. The night's lull defines the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but seen no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Ever since His Majesty went to the fields, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet, all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive the benefits of sleep and the due effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, have you, besides her walking and any other actual effects, heard her say anything?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You should to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you, nor anyone, having no witness to confirm this speech. Lo you, here she comes, this her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why it stood by her? She is light by her continually, 'tis her command.
What is it she does now? Look, how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Harsh she speaks. I'll sit down what she says at once, to satisfy my remembrance more strongly.
Damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why, then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and afeard. What need we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man has had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that tomorrow, all with this starting.
Go to. Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I will not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God of you, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet, I've known those who have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. Cannot come out of his grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed, there's a knocking at the gate. Come. Come, come. Come, give me your hands. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she now go to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds, their death pills discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine in the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her any means of all annoyance. Still keep eyes upon her. In my mind, she is mated and amazed at my sight. I think, but dare not to speak. Good night.
Good night, good doctor.
Howard is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Sidward, and the Gamika. Revenge has burned them, for their dear causes would to the bleeding and grim alarm excite the more from them.
Near Burnham Wood shall we meet them, and that way are they coming.
Who knows if Donald Bain be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I've a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, and many unrough youths that even now protest their first of manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane, he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that leisure hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain, he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking to his hands. Now minutely revolts, upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame this pestered sense to a coil and star when all that is within him does condemn himself for being there?
Well then, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly will, Malcolm, and with him, pour we, and our country's purge, each drop of us.
Or so much as it needs to do the sovereign flower and draft weeds. Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequence have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, for no man born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. And fly false things, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Why dost thou that goose alone?
There is 10,000
Geese, villain?
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face, and overred thy fear, thou lily-livered girl. What soldier's patch? Death of thy soul, thy lidded cheeks are counselors to fear! soldier's way fate?
The English force so please you.
Go take your face hence. Seated! I am sick at heart when I weep. Seaton, I say! This push will cheer me ever, or deceit to me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sear, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud, but deep, mouth honor, breath which the faint heart would pour deny and dare not. Seaton!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round, hang those talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How goes your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, is troubled with the coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased, pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, all none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Seaton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, catch the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud it. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug would scour these English heads? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, sir, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, Crawford again should hardly draw me near.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be saved.
What is this before us?
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby we shall shatter the numbers of our host, making discovery and important to us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the competent tyrant holds still in Dunsinane, and will endure all setting down before it.
'Tis where there is adventure to be gone. More or less the giver in the revolt, and none serve with them to constrain things, whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership. The time approaches, that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have, and what we own. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advances the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh the siege to scorn. There let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced to face them? What is that sound?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has brimmed that my senses would have cooled to hear a night's shriek, and my fellow air would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. It would have been a time for such a word. To tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but don't know how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I stood my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave.
Let me endure your wrath, if it be not so. May you see...
If thy speech be false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If that which ye avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. I came to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow, wind, come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now, near enough. Your leave screens slow down and show like those you are. You, over the uncle. Shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. With my duff and we shall take upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight? Let us be beaten, if we cannot fight. Sound all of our trumpets! Give them all breath! Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death!
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What is he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest a name hotter than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself cannot utter a title more hateful to my ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With this sword I shall prove the lie thou speakst.
Thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. Brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is! Tyrant, show thy face! If thou be a slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear thy staves. Art thou Macbeth? Or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. On this great platter one of the greatest notes seems brooded. Let me find him, fortune. and for more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day itself almost professes as yours, and little is to do.
We met foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? As I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound! Turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. For there are not terms for those as evil as thou!
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword and pressures make me bleed. And fall thy blade on vulnerable crest, I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
To spare thy charm, let the angel who still hath served tell thee, Macbeth was of his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so. For which hath cowed my better part of man. And let these juggling fiends be no more believed, that palter to us with a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I will not fight with thee.
Then yield, ye coward, and become the gauge and the show of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and underwritten. Here may you see the tyrant.
Not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough!
How would the friends we miss receive a riot?
Some must go off, and yet, by these I see, a day as great as this is cheaply bought.
Macbeth is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the undrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he is dead.
Aye. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurt before?
Aye, on the front.
Then, God's soldier be he. Had I many sons as I had heirs, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's with more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. And so, God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail thee, king! For so thou art. Behold where stood the usurper's cursed sword. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, and salutations in their eyes. The voice I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!